Hey, my name is Rowan Smith and I want to welcome you to the Training for Trekking podcast. Now, this is the world's very first podcast which is entirely dedicated to helping you train, prepare and conquer your upcoming hike, trek or mountain adventure. So once a week, I'm going to be giving you quality and practical information on the subjects of physical preparation for trekking, dealing with altitude and nutrition on the trail, so you can know everything you need to be doing to have the best chance of a safe, enjoyable and successful adventure. So now you know what you're in for. Let's get into today's episode. Alright, hello ladies and gentlemen. Today's episode, we are talking to the hikers who are going through a period of rough time. Whether you've got a crazy busy week at work, whether you've got a sick family member, whether you're coming back from illness yourself, whether you just got big levels of stress, whatever it may be, or whatever it may be. Today I'm talking to you guys who do go through those ups and downs and are trying to go through a training process at the same time. And I'm going to give you a really simple insight into something that can make a dramatic difference to helping you get through with your training during this type of time. Now, the reason I want to talk about this today is this is something that I guess almost every single hiker will fall into at some stage or another. Because, one of the things I always say to my new clients and people who decide to come on board and work with me is training and a training journey, it is absolutely never going to be a linear process. And what I mean by that is throughout any type of training journey, whether it's a 4-week, 6-week, 12-week, 6-month, 12-month, whatever it may be, there are always going to be countless ups and downs throughout. Now, the ups are pretty easy when we're feeling really energetic, when we're having great sessions, having great hikes, we're sleeping well, we're eating well, we feel like everything's coming together. But the downs, maybe a workout didn't go so well. Or maybe, I got a little bit of a flare-up of discomfort. Or maybe I'm just not sleeping well, I'm so low on energy, or my muscles are sore, or my motivation is low, or maybe I feel like I'm getting sick, or one of these countless different things that can get in the way of a training process. And these things are absolutely normal. There's very little control we have over all this type of stuff. Yes, there's certain things we can do, I guess, to mitigate the risk of some areas of protecting our sleep or, looking after our health or whatever it may be. But in all honesty, for most of this, there's very little control we have over this. But for some hikers out there, they really put a lot of pressure on themselves. In the sense that they can commit to a training process, commit to a program, and they just want to stick with it at all costs, regardless of what's going on in their life. And this can be great for some people. Some people really love to push themselves through, and this can be fantastic. But for a lot of us, this can sort of compound the issue when we are going through a tricky time. And, trying to fit in our normal training load, trying to fit in our normal workouts or whatever it may be, during a time of high stress or high issues, can sometimes be a bit of a losing battle. So what I want to say today is if you are going through a low point in your training, low motivation, low energy, low health, whatever it may be, give yourself permission to adjust your training. And I'll say that again. If you are going through a low period in your training, give yourself permission to adjust your training and adjust your expectations. And what I mean by this is, if you typically want to aim to train 5 days a week, during times of stress, it might be a good idea, maybe just lower that expectation a little bit. Just aim for 3 sessions a week or 2 sessions a week. Find a new healthy minimum that you can fit in around what's going on at the moment and set that as the target. So instead of just sort of saying, I want to hit 5 sessions a week, but you fail again and again and again, you feel bad, you feel guilty, you feel terrible because you're not fitting this target for yourself. Just sit down, take a step back and go, you know what? Actually, I've got a lot going on. Here's a bargain I'm going to make with myself. For the next 2 weeks while I know this is going on, I'm just going to do 2 sessions a week. If I fit those in, that is a win. And then when things settle, things get back to normal, then I can ramp things up. And this simple shift in perspective can do absolute wonders. It can take the stress off, it can take the guilt away, and really just keep that momentum and make you feel good. And then essentially when you're going to get out of this stressful period, you can ramp up your training. You can feel like you haven't had a massive break. You feel like you still accomplished something over that time, and you can get back into things as normal. Now, it's not just reducing sessions down, which you can do. There's so many different ways you can go about this. For some people, they prefer I want to keep the same sort of training schedule. I still want to train the same number of days in a week, but maybe I'll reduce things down. So if I've been doing 60-minute sessions, maybe I'll just do 40 minutes or 30 minutes. If I've already been doing 30 minutes, just say maybe do 10 minutes or whatever it may be, and reduce that expectation down. Or you might be looking at your sessions specifically, and you might say, in my strength sessions, I'm actually just going to do half the workout. Or I'm just going to do half the repetitions if I'm low on energy. Or just some way of adjusting things to make it seem more realistic, more practical, more doable. So you can get through this. You can still count it as a win. And then when things clear up, you can ramp things up again. This in itself, I think it is such an important subject to go over. And I think it's such an important thing to do. Because for the majority of us, when we're going through tough times, they're tough enough already. We don't need more stress. We don't need more guilt or whatever it may be. And I think this is such a significant thing that can go a long, long, long way. Now, on the other side of this, is probably some people may be thinking, they'll be like, okay, you know what? I get it. I understand. But I feel like if I don't stick to what I'm doing, I'm going to lose all momentum, or I'm going to feel even worse about myself, or whatever it may be. And if you're the person who operates like that, if you prefer just to push through, just do the normal thing, just at all costs and just fit it in, if you operate that and that works for you, then fine. But in all honesty, that's probably a very small percentage of people listening to this. It's probably only 5, 3, 2% even. It's definitely not me. If that's you, absolutely fine. But if not, I highly strongly encourage you to adjust your expectations, adjust your sessions, fit things around your life, and do what you need to do to work through this period. Ride the highs when they're good. When you got high energy, got high time, lots of time, fit everything in. Make the most of that. But when you're struggling, adapt around that. And that's all I'm going to say on that subject. So I hope next time this comes around, hopefully this episode will resonate with a few people, and hopefully this gives some people permission to adjust things and fit things around their life. And I really do hope it makes a solid difference. So that's about enough on that subject today. Really do hope you got a bit out of this. Really do hope it helps a few hikers who may be struggling now or struggling in the future. And I really do hope it keeps your training moving forward, takes a bit of weight off your shoulders, and just helps, make these times a little bit easier for you. So thank you so much for listening. Hope you have a lovely day, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.